Hello, Baseball Nation. We are live right now. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy this stream. It's just going to be me, unfortunately. Let's start it off with some of the news and notes of this week. The Yankees' winning streak ends at 13, unfortunately. You hate to see that, but I really thought that was quite an impressive run, and it kind of skyrocketed them into this playoffs chase that they're kind of making right now. They've been a lot of fun to watch, and I've definitely enjoyed watching this win streak. They came to Atlanta, took care of business, swept that series, which was big for them. So it's been a really fun to watch this Yankees team have an absolute stretch. Next up, we got the Tigers inside the Parker, winning it for them. It was really fun to watch. As a Tigers fan, you got to see that ball get by him. And what's up, John, in the chat? You got to see that ball get by him. Absolutely awesome to see as a Tigers fan. Next up, we got Rays to 80 wins. Rays are going to be the second team to 80 wins, right behind the Giants. Really cool to see them. One of the people that's been kind of sparking that streak for them is Wander Franco. 29-game on-base streak. Absolutely crazy. Super cool to see Wander do what he's been doing. Next up, we got Shohei Ohtani. Gets to that 40-20 season. What a feat it was for Shohei. You don't see that often whatsoever. I enjoyed watching Shohei. Shohei's just been having an electric season. So much fun to watch this year. Next up, we got Brandon Belt. After his grandma passes away, he has a 2-homer day, goes 3 for 4, also mixes in a double in there. Really cool to see him play for family like that. Next up, Yasmani Grandal comes back off of the IL, and he gets 8 RBIs. Absolutely electric to watch him. He's one of the best catchers in baseball. Maybe behind Perez and Real Muto. He might even be better than Real Muto. He's absolutely crazy, and that was definitely big for them. And to be honest with you, the White Sox are looking like a super team, just like the Dodgers are. If we just compare these lineups, the White Sox have the edge at catcher with Grandal. It's about tied at first base with Abreu and Muncy. Abreu just drives in so many runs. He's about to get to 100 RBIs this season. Trey Turner and Cesar Hernandez. Cesar Hernandez is solid, but Trey Turner is, of course, better. Eloy Jimenez, and then Pollock and my bad. I forgot Seager and Anderson at short. Anderson's been more productive this year because he's actually been on the field. And then in left field, we got Jimenez versus Pollock and Taylor. I take Jimenez every day. He absolutely reeks. Next, we have Luis Robert and Cody Bellinger. And Robert's absolutely a freak athlete. He is so much fun to watch just on that baseball field. Bellinger hasn't been anything this year, so I give it that edge to Robert because Robert was just hurt. Bellinger has been below league average. Then you got Larry Garcia and Andrew Vaughn versus Mookie Betts. That's an easy win for Betts. Next up, we got the rotations. You got Lynn versus Buehler. That's about a tie. Rodon versus Scherzer, another about a tie. Giolito and Kershaw, about tied. And then I give the bullpen to the White Sox with Kimbrel and Hendricks over Trinan and Jansen. Next up, we're going to move into this injury recap. Nick Anderson is kind of rebounding, coming. He should be back soon. Springer almost goes back to the IL again after a left knee sprain. Syndergaard's rehab delayed because he got COVID. And Rhys Hoskins is going to be out for the season, unfortunately. Comment what you think about that in the chat. And then we got Willy Adames is coming back. That's big for them. They really need him back. And Posey and Crawford are day-to-day. And Flaherty is back to the IL, unfortunately. After coming back, we were seeing some progress from him. He was looking pretty good, but he is back to the IL. Next up, we have our team recaps and kind of progress of how they're doing. Yes, Porter Berryman, the Phillies are bad. So we're going to start off. We're going to talk about the Phillies in just a second. We're going to start off with the NL recap. The Braves, 3-3. Riley makes a legit MVP case. Kind of. Like, he's been absolutely raking this year. He's been super electric to watch here in Atlanta. Jorge Soler has been great for the Braves. As of recent, he was hitting sub 200 over there with the Royals. But as he's been with the Braves, he has been a lot better. And Ian Anderson, is back, which is big for them. He had a nice start today, helping lead the Braves to that W versus the Giants. Next up, we got the Phillies. They go 4-3 this week. Hoskins is out for the season. Probably no more playoff race for the Phillies, unless the Braves really slide here. And then Wheeler has been struggling. Not fun to see as a Phillies fan. Wheeler has definitely slowed down recently. Next up, we got the Mets. 3-4 this week. Syndergaard was starting the rehab, as I said, and got COVID. DeGrom was playing catch, but might not come back. And Lindor and Baez play their first game together this week. Cool to see that double play combo up the middle. Two absolute studs in the field, though. I think Javi Baez is definitely overrated in the field. The Washington Nationals go 2-5 this week. Rough week for them, but the big news is tomorrow we're going to see Keibert Ruiz. He's going to be debuting. He was very hot in the minors, and he was really hot. He was having 2 homer days all over the place. Definitely deserved to be called up here. He fought for it. The Marlins were 4-3 this week. Luzardo and Edward Cabrera were kind of the stories of this week. Both of them had very solid starts. Edward Cabrera was a Chico in MLB The Show, and now he is a major leaguer. Next up, we move to the NL Central. We got the Brewers going 4-3. Aaron Ashby pitches well, which could help them make a playoff run. Adames is back, which is definitely big for them, as he was one of their big bats. And Corbin Burns hits 100 miles an hour on the radar gun. That's super cool to see. Next up, we got the Reds, 3-4. Votto's been very hot and maybe an MVP candidate. Naiquin also has a great week, but 3-4 is not what you're looking for. But I think they've kind of hopped up there in that wild card race, as the Padres had an absolutely brutal week. We'll talk about that in just a second. Next, the Cardinals. They go 4-3 this week. The big news of the week for them is Yadi's going to retire after next season, after the 2022 season. It's going to be unfortunate to see him go, but I really like Yadi. I really, really like Yadi. He's had an amazing career. If you go watch Foolish Baseball's video, he is the greatest defender of all time, just ahead of Ozzie Smith. Any questions you have, put them in the chat. The bats look good this week. Flaherty back to the IL, unfortunately. And Lars Nootbaar with his first ever walk-off, a single versus the Tigers. Next up, we have the Chicago Cubs. They will be in next year's Field of Dreams game with the Reds. That's big news for them. Should be fun. Unfortunately, I don't really think it's nearly as good of a matchup as this year's was. And then we also got the fact that they've been really struggling. It's tough to play when your entire team gets traded away, though, so I get it. Next up, we move to the Pirates. They go 4-4 this week. Yoshitomo Tsutsugo hits a walk-off for his new club, and Gregory Polanco gets released, and their farm system, which is kind of the future for them, gets ranked 4th in baseball. Next up, we got the NL West. The Giants go 5-2. They lose to the Braves today, which makes them lose the series. This ends their series-winning streak that they'd had, unfortunately for them. And they have a couple key injuries, as Crawford and Posey are going to be out. The Dodgers go 3-3. They're my pick to overcome the Giants here in this last month. The Braves are going to get their aces. They're going to throw their aces against the Braves. It's going to be Buehler, Scherzer, and Urias, which is going to be really tough for the Braves. Will Smith continues to be very clutch, and they played an absolutely crazy game versus the Padres. Pollock had that amazing catch. Snell threw a gem. It was a really fun game to watch if you could watch the highlights. They went 16 innings. First time any game has gone that deep since the runner on second base kind of rule that Robert Manfred inputted. The Padres go 1-6 this week, kill their playoff hopes possibly, as they get swept by the Dodgers. The entire team forgot how to hit. In their series versus the Dodgers, they had an under 100 batting average. Unfortunate to see. And this really may cost them the playoffs. Not a fun streak if you're one of their hitters. Pitchers are actually pretty good. C.J. Cron has been very hot this week for the Rockies as they go 3-4. And Connor Joe has also been a solid piece. They've played well against the Dodgers, which has kind of staved off the Dodgers from the Giants. So if I'm the Giants, I'm really thankful for what the Rockies have been doing. The D-backs, really not much to talk about. Really rough season, really rough week. They go 3-5, and their number one prospect, Jordan Lawler, is going to be out for the season. He was their draft pick this year. So that's the NL, kind of the big notes from the NL. Wild card races got a little bit hotter as the Reds came a little closer and the Padres got a little further. Tough to watch the Padres really do that, but it was big for the Reds, and I like the Reds as a team a lot. Next up, we're going to go into this AL recap. We'll start with the Rays. They hit 80 wins and helped stave off the Yankees' recent run by winning so many games. The Yankees really would have caught up to them, but they go 5-0. And the Yankees go 4-1. Stanton's been crushing the ball, and their 13-game winning streak is over. Unfortunate to see that, but 13 games. What an absolute heater they went on. Super cool to see the Yankees really do that. I didn't really think they were going to be a playoff team, but they are. They have been absolutely fantastic. Chris Sale is back. He has been pitching extremely well, has an immaculate inning, and we've kind of found the next Chris Sale in Gavin Weir in the Little League World Series. He's been absolutely crazy. He's like given up 1 run in 100 innings or something. He's been untouchable. And the Red Sox go 4-1. Lots of wins in this top half of the AL East, but the bottom half, you got 3-4 Blue Jays. Robbie Ray is absolutely shoving, and he's just been one of the best left-handed pitchers you'll ever see. Like in terms of Ks right now, he had a 14K day the other day. We'll talk about that later. The Orioles go 2-4 and end their 19-game losing streak and take 2 from the Angels, which is big for them because, like, as an Orioles fan, I'd almost want to stop being an Orioles fan after that 19-game loser. Really, really not fun as a fan. I know after some of the Tigers' struggles they had in the past. The White Sox go 3-4. Rodon and Yaz are back and hot. Yaz had that 8 RBI day, and Rodon has been looking good. He's just been looking good all season. Next, we're going to go to the Indians. The Indians, 3-2 this week. Pretty good. James Karinchak is sent to Triple-A. Sucks. Because earlier in the year, he was like this phenom that everyone was like, oh, no one can hit him. And next, we're going to go to the Tigers. 3-2 this week. Inside Park game winner. Helps them propel to this 3-2. Daz Cameron gets sent down to the minors. And Eric Haas is back. And Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson, the two hot prospects, are moved up to Triple-A, which is huge for them and something you definitely want to see. Next, we are going to move to the Royals and Twins at the bottom of this division. The Royals go 5-2. Super good week. Lots of fun to see them do so good this week. Salvi moves to second the home run race with his 37th bomb, passing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They have the number 5 ranked farm system in all of baseball, and they go 5-2 this week. Big week for them. The Twins go 3-2, but it was a very exciting. Unfortunately, Maeda has season-ending surgery, but the 495-foot blast to left center in Fenway from Miguel Sano was absolutely clobbered. That ball was killed. If there was a guy as a candidate for that longest home run, I would definitely say that guy is Miguel Sano. The Astros go 4-2 this week. Bregman is back. Verlander could be back for the playoffs, and they're just looking good. Bregman kind of did a little funny thing where he put a picture on his Instagram of him looking all scruffy, but then came back and was clean-shaven and looked great. Verlander being back possibly in the pen for the playoffs is huge for them. That could kind of change what I had put in my predictions video, as that might make that might be a huge difference maker for the Astros. Next up, we got the A's, 1-5. They're kind of marching to the end of their season and missing out on the playoffs. Starling Marte has been swiping tons of bags, but really unfortunate to see such a poor week, and that could end up costing them their season and the playoffs. The Mariners kind of creeping up on them. They're fighting to try and make the playoffs. Ty France had 2 crazy clutch moments this week. He might be the clutchest player in all of baseball. The Angels go 2-4, end the 19-game losing streak for the Orioles. Trout's going to be back soon, which is definitely good for them, and Ohtani gets to that 40-20 mark. Unfortunately, it's funny how they have 2 of the best players in all of baseball, and they can't win. Sign a pitcher this offseason if you want to be good. Rangers go 1-5, not a very good team. Leiter is going to be a very highly ranked prospect this year. And Brandon Lau has a 5-hit day for them. Super cool to see that. Next up, we're going to look into our 3 new segments that we're adding: Scorching Stretch, 4-homer list, and Big Arms. For our Scorching Stretch, we got Jose Ramirez. Over last week, he's hit .364 with 4 stolen bases, 6 RBIs, and 2 homers. Anthony Santander is next up. .440 batting average, 4 homers, and 8 runs this week. Tyler Naiquin is next up. That .571 batting average, 3 homers, and a 1.816 OPS. Super cool to see that kind of hitting from an Orioles player. He definitely helped them get out of that 19-game losing streak. And on this 4-homer list, we have Anthony Santander, Patrick Wisdom, Giancarlo Stanton, and Salvador Perez. And next up, final segment is going to be Big Arms. Scherzer, 18 Ks, 13 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Absolutely dominant. Fun to see him just go out there and shove. Musgrove, 15 innings pitched, 18 Ks, 1 earned run. Absolutely nasty from him. And lastly, we have Garrett Cole, 12 innings pitched, 15 Ks, 0 earned runs. Those were kind of the big pitching performances of this week. And they were definitely from big players. Lastly, we're just going to finish up with any questions that the chat has, and we'll answer those. And really, thank you for coming to this live stream and watching this. The Royals have definitely been a hot team. Continue to keep watching these live streams. We should have a Atlanta Braves ballpark review, a PNC Park ballpark review, a couple quizzes, and maybe we'll throw in a couple other videos in there, maybe a tier list hopefully this week. Should be a lot of daily recaps. Be sure to tune in to all of our other videos. Thank you for watching. Please enjoy some of our other videos after you're finished with this, and be sure to like and subscribe.